Oh goodness,
There it is.
there you are.
My computer has a tendency to crash sometimes when I have the webcam on, but we'll see what
Ah,
happens. Oh, look how fancy that is.
I know. I did a whole thing just for you, or at least this is like round one of me giving this a shot. So
Mhm.
we'll see how this goes. So you're lucky, or if anything, I'm lucky to have
This
you.
is the first one ever.
Yeah, you're the first, and I hope that this goes well. And if it doesn't, then my career's over. I'm going to.
Oh no.
So I'm writing on this being a sweet one, dude. No, I'm just kidding though. I want to thank you for coming, and I really appreciate you showing up. It's cool to have you. I know we've talked before, so I think this will
We
be this will.
met 2017.
Yes, we did meet. Was it 2017? Yeah, it was 2017. Yes, over at
It was,
BlizzCon.
yeah. Just
So
after BFA. I
yeah,
know.
yeah. So we'll just ice break for a little bit. Yeah, it was cool because I remember I was doing some playtest. And then just all of a sudden, I just hear like a hey, and I turn around. I'm like, oh, who's this guy? Whoa, I know who that guy is. That's oh, I don't know his name. That's MrGM. Ah, I geeked out for a little bit. I admit. I was like, oh my god, it's someone who I've seen on YouTube, and now I'm seeing him in person. This is kind of neat. Oh my god. Uh, is
I
that
was one of three British people there. Me, Taliesin,
wait?
and
Was
probably
anyone else
someone
that
else.
was so like no preach and none of those cats happen to be there?
They never. Yeah, I've never seen him there. Well, I've been going since 2017. I've never seen him there. There's
Oh,
very few British people go. Very few.
I mean it's far, you know. I mean,
It
I mean
is. Yeah,
it's
it's a long old journey.
it's a dude. The walking must be like crazy. Like imagine the cardio of having to walk all the way there. That's God. Or I mean, if you drive, I'm sure it's easier. But God, anyway. So so I want to congratulate you first because the past couple months, I think, from observations, you've been hitting milestones. You've been moving on up in the world. I think that you've really made yourself known as I'm the guy to see. I'm the guy to hang out with and chill with on stream. These are the videos that you should be watching. So I want to give you a little coffee cup hitting round of applause. That you've
Well,
been
thank you.
doing great, and I hope to see more of you. So we'll be talking about a little bit of that. We'll be talking about a lot of you. Let me take that back.
Fun.
You'll be
My
talking about a
favorite
lot of
topic.
you. Yeah. Oh my God. What better way to have an interview than to give you an excuse to talk about yourself? But so I watched your interview yesterday with Jay, and
Hmm.
I thought it was awesome. It helped me to watch it a lot to make sure that I don't overlap like the same shit
Yep.
that you're talking about before. So your name, Mr. GM. For people who don't know, I'm trying to remember from things that were said yesterday.
Yeah.
Your name comes from nothing. You didn't want to be called Mr. GM.
Nah. Never wanted it, and now I got it, and I can't do anything with it.
Can't do anything about it. So at this point, when people ask, "Oh, what does the GM stand for?" You just
Make
make
it up.
shit up. You just make shit up. So
Yep.
let's establish the lore now. Let's have it solid. So I had a short list. It was a short, crappy list of like the worst names. I mean, the best names that I can think of. So what about Mister Grandma?
Grandma.
Grandma, it fits. I was trying to think of whatever I can go with, man.
It works. It works.
Or like Mister No Master.
That was one. Yeah, that was one. People say a lot. I just say yeah. Honestly, when they guess, I just go yeah. Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. George Michael, love him. He's the shit for me. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
obviously.
best. Love Wham, my favorite.
I'll go with Grandmaster. I'll
Yeah,
go with I'll
perfect.
go with Grandmaster. Something nice and perfectly arrogant. definitely something to definitely something to blow you up. So let me get to helping you talk about yourself. So when exactly did you start playing the World of Warcraft?
Oh, it would have been probably halfway through, maybe 2006, maybe start of 2006. Shared an account with my brother for until Christmas, and then my mum bought me WoW and my account, transferred the character over, still play the character now. Yeah, and then Burning Crusade came out early 2007. So I did play. I think it might even been 2005. I'd love to find out when my character was created. That'd be really cool. If there's some sort of data out there, that'd be awesome. But I don't think I'll ever find it. But yeah, I think 2005. I did a bit of raiding in vanilla and stuff, but I was so very young. Like it's like 15.
Oh my god! Oh god, I feel old. I don't talk about my age. I make a joke at it for the most part, but 15 when first playing. So yeah, because when you were saying, I was like, wow, your mom had to buy you out. What a child!
I wish I was older. I wish I was older playing vanilla because it's pretty cool. But obviously with classic and stuff, I get to play it again. So.
Yeah. We'll definitely be talking a little bit about classic and things that we're looking forward to because I am excited about it. It's not, I admit that it's not, I've done my time. You know what I mean? Like I played through classic, I went through the rounds, so I don't think I'll be really interested to try to relive the magic or recapture that feeling. But I'm really excited for it. Like overall, I think it's a fantastic thing for the WoW community.
It'll be good for the game.
Absolutely.
General.
Absolutely. Getting more fans to come in and to love WoW is cool. And someone's going to make money off of it. It's like, hey, cool. They'll be able to grow from that. So you've played you said that you're still playing your first character, and that was a gnome warrior. Is that right?
Yep. Same character.
Wow. see, I admit that I play a paladin. I've been playing a paladin like forever and ever. But wow, that's a rare thing. There are so many players that's I'm gonna play the meta. I'm gonna play the flavor of the month so I can progress and do things like that. What sort of raiding? You said you did raid. Like how much raiding did you manage to do back in the vanilla days?
Did a bit of ZG. I remember tanking it a little bit of MC as well. I specifically remember it was something. I got a screenshot on my brother's computer somewhere of like I remember being an MC and I took a screenshot of I think it might have been the tank's health, and it was like something like 10,000 or something. It was like the first time I'd ever seen like 10,000 health or something like that. And I was like,
That's
had to
actually
take
a
a
lot.
screenshot of it.
Holy crap!
Yeah, it was.
Did he
was
pop like Last
blasting.
Stand and all that? And
he was he was going. He was.
Wow.
I think it was 10,000. I remember it being a lot, and I remember it being a number similar to that, and just thinking it was just like so huge. I was like, I've got to take a screenshot of this. But yeah, I remember a little bit of MC, a little bit of a lot of ZG, so many nights in ZG, and a little bit. I think I did like maybe the first boss of Blackwing Lair, but I don't think we ever got past it. But it was a bit of a weird. I even remember my guild name was the Cunning Stunt, which is obviously if you switch the letters around or something.
Clever.
But
clever.
we even had a website. We had like picture, screenshot uploads and stuff of the day and stuff like that. I'd love to see the old website. It's obviously probably gone to history now, but it was really cool. It was a really fun time.
Oh, I remember those kinds of those websites like Guildox, I think was one of them. And I've tried making those little like websites. Like, we have a cool little forum and we have like these links with these screenshots, and so much time has passed ever since those days. And
Doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, the way that you do it now, it's like, oh, here we are, just put it up on our Twitter. Here's our thing, and we can all like share stuff. And there you go.
Follow the Twitter and Discord.
That's it. Please follow it. Please follow it. Please follow it. Twitch Prime, etc., etc., etc. All right, let me get to you. So you started pretty early. When did you decide, hey, you know what? I'm gonna make videos and shit?
So I always made videos. I did mention this yesterday, but we'll go again because not everyone watched this. So yeah, I always made videos when I was little. Used to make like jackass videos and random trampoline wrestling videos. Used to edit them all and stuff on Windows Movie Maker and do all that kind of fun stuff as a kid. So I always had a passion for video editing and video creation. Then watched a hell of a lot of WoW hobs. Watched a hell of a lot of TB and just consumed a lot of WoW content, and I felt that I wanted to just give it a try. I popped open my first video is from 12 years ago on my personal channel, which has 170,000 views, which is pretty cool.
Oh wow.
And it has an Evanescence song in the background, and it's I think it's 40 gnomes versus one level 60 horde. There's a whole story behind it, but yeah, it's a it's got fucking fraps.com in the top and stuff.
Oh.
Proper classic vanilla video. Originally uploaded to Warcraft movies and then moved over to YouTube. But yeah, that was wild. That was on my first video I ever made. It even had credits, like it said like starring, and then it had like my character name and stuff. It was awful.
Yeah, me, and here's my guild mates.
That wasn't like I didn't have any commentary or anything like that. That was just literally like sort of a montage, I suppose. My first actual video was 2011, and I covered it was so weird. It was on the PTR, on the 4.3 PTR or something. No, was there ever a 4.3, 4.2 or something? Anyway, what happened was, if you go to Booty Bay and you talk to one of the NPCs that gives you the TCG rewards, if you typed in this code, which was like 11111, it gives you the rewards on the PTR. And that was video. It was a video of me talking about that and showing people that you can do that. I don't know if it works now. I actually haven't tried it since 2011, so maybe it does. But yeah, that was one of my first videos that I ever did. And I recorded it on an iToy camera, an iToy camera, but I didn't use the webcam. I just used it as a microphone. Sounds like text to speech because it's so staticky and horrible. But yeah, and it kind of went from there. Been pretty much uploading consistently since 2011. Took a few breaks here and there, but I mean, obviously been full time since last February, which has been pretty fun.
An iToy. Wow, that's like that's just ghetto fabulous.
I still have it. I might bust it out one day.
do it, and you should do it, and then reshoot. Just kind of remix the whole thing. It's like I'll take the iToy, I'll do this, I'll go to Booty Bay, I'll try to punch in that TCG code, and just remake it. Here we go, guys. 2019. Let's see if we can recapture the magic and the nostalgia.
April 1st.
So you've been doing you've done a lot of videos, obviously. Mm-hmm. What got you to pivot over towards private server kinds of stuff? Because I know that's kind of like these days it's kind of a murky sort of thing that you've shied away from, but it's still your past. It's still something that you've done. But what got you interested in going that route in the first place?
Honestly, it was more like, so I always played retail the whole time I've ever played WoW. I've always been subbed. I've never actually unsubbed, and I've always played through all of the content routes or whatever. But back in 2011, I felt there was a hole that needs filling, and it was someone who did coverage of World of Warcraft on the private server side of things, because there was absolutely no one doing it back then. So I felt this is something that could be good. So I basically made videos about that for years and years. But as I said, always had a passion for retail WoW. Always made, every now and then I would make like a random retail WoW video, just trying to test the field, see how the audience perceive it and stuff. Never went well. I did a video on End Time, I think it was. That was a Cataclysm dungeon. I did a video covering that. Went down like a fart in a sauna. And never did that again. But yeah, like if you looked at my history, obviously now all my private server videos are gone for other reasons.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's funny how I just kind of every now and then tried something out of retail, but it never stuck, unfortunately. And then eventually it did. About 2 years ago, did like a full-on switch and kind of found my own niche, I guess, because I always played like local private servers just to kind of mod, because I always loved modding games and fiddling around with files and doing stuff like that, and that was always a great opportunity for me. Like I used to make like dungeons. I could make a dungeon in WoW. Like I would fill areas like the Stormwind Vault or some of the unused dungeon areas in World of Warcraft. I'd actually make them into a dungeon, and I would script the bosses and everything. No one would ever play it, but I would do it, and it was a whole lot of fun. I had patrols going through. I had like a whole story up. Like it was a ton of fun. I used to love doing stuff like that. And that's kind of knowledge that I passed on to now when I do like some of the model previews and stuff, where I'm in this world where it's my freaking logo on the floor and stuff like that. Like all of that is kind of goes hand in hand, I suppose.
I'm really fascinated by that, because that was definitely something that I think got you a lot of that notoriety. Not the private server stuff, but the fact that you would kind of break into break into the files and with model viewer, or you would create your own sandbox environment so that you can do some exploratory kinds of videos,
Yeah.
educational, just fascinating stuff, and I think that's cool. But how did you how did you get into that, or how did you learn that? Did you teach yourself? Because I mean, I would look around and I'd be like, I don't know where any of this shit is. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm
There
like
are
trying to peek and yeah, not figuring it out.
there are people who are way more knowledgeable than me that do stuff like that, and I kind of work with them with it a lot. I mean, I have like a bit of a knowledge, but God, some of these people are like geniuses. It's unbelievable. So it's kind of like a small community, a kind of niche secret community, I guess, that kind of work with all that kind of stuff. I mean, obviously, Wowhead are involved with all of that. If you can tell, they're very similar in the videos. Some of their model previews are quite similar, with like the little world with the logo and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Like it's as I said, like people way more intelligent than me do that kind of stuff, and then I kind of do the bits that I know, like looking at some people do like crazy things, and I couldn't even dream of doing that. But yeah, it's not just me. I don't want to take all the credit. There's a lot of other people out there that do it way better than me and help me out. But yeah, shout out to them. They're amazing. But I do, as I said, I do some of it. Like for one, there was one. It was really weird. The new this was ages. This was probably in the beta when the Cold Tier and Moonkin form came out.
Kind of
There
remember that.
was it. Yeah, it wouldn't work on this sandbox environment. So what I did was went to a Wrath of the Lich King sandbox environment, downported that model into the Wrath of the Lich King client, so it actually was supported by Wrath of the Lich King, and did the video in that. And it was all fine. And then I did casting animations, but obviously for a druid back in Wrath, the casting animations are completely different. So people in the comments were like, "Why is he doing the old Wrath animation?" Like I was like, "Oh crap!"
That's still fascinating though. Like that's the kind of stuff that's like I know that you're saying, oh, other people are taking credit, but that's still super fascinating. I can't even begin to imagine like, okay, let me extract the model from here and edit some things so that it obeys like the animations from this, and like that's totally over my head. So I think that in that regard, the few of you, and especially you, because I think that you're more high profile than the others, like you guys cornered that market. I think that's being able to show cool things. That's something that I've known you for in the work that you've
Hmm.
done over the years, and I think that that's been like a consistent delivery of like, hey, this is some cool stuff, and I think that's why I still watch your channel. So
Yeah,
I think that's pretty awesome.
it's a niche. It's definitely a niche that people enjoy.
And
Like
you
when I was
got
doing all the armor coverage and stuff, like looking at the new armor sets, like that was a lot of fun.
yeah,
And like
I was
BFA beta was great.
oh, it was awesome. I mean, I'm still amazed that there are still people that look at this one video that I made about, hey, for whatever reason there is
Is
an
it the
upright
undead upright
yeah,
one?
yeah, it's the upright animation. I was like, oh, I don't know
Yep.
why it's like this, but there's a bunch of different models that have it, so let me show it off, and it just blew up. So
Yeah, that video blew up. I remember seeing.
yeah, and I guess that kind of goes to show that there's a lot of people that because I do more commentary than anything. But some people, they just want to look at weird shit, or they just want to look at cool stuff, and
Yeah,
that
speculation based on model viewing is some one of the hottest stuff in WoW. That and hate culture. That's it. That's World of Warcraft.
yeah, there's definitely been an upshift, I guess, in the kinds of coverage that people are interested in. Maybe it's not something that you or I are like are totally on, but it's undeniable.
Oh,
That's for sure.
oh yeah. The comment section has definitely got way more toxic in the last couple of months.
Yeah, like even like the most inane stuff I've noticed. It's like, okay, here's something cool, guys. What do you think? I think that Blizzard is dumb,
I'm
and
not. I'm not resubbing for this.
yeah, it's like that's cool. That's a really great story. Let's see what I want to get to. So WoW obviously has been a big passion for you ever since you started doing content creation and all that. But if WoW wasn't a thing, if the World of Warcraft either never existed or just never blew up the way that it did, would you see yourself doing the same kind of work for like a different game or anything like that?
There's a lot of things. I've actually sat down with myself and kind of thought, what kind of, because I'm quite knowledgeable about WoW in general and stuff, and I can kind of confidently talk about it. I was kind of thinking, whatever things can I sit there and confidently talk about? And it's the most random bunch of things. So off the top of my head, you've got Metal Gear Solid, which is a game on obviously the PlayStation 1, Dragon Ball Z, wrestling, and Pokemon.
Hey, those aren't weird subjects. Those are actually like super, popular things. And I actually wanted to talk about Dragon Ball in just a bit. We'll pivot to that. But those would be the things, huh?
Yeah. Funnily enough, behind me, I don't know if you can see, Dragon Ball poster, Pokemon poster.
Oh, I definitely
actually got a
see.
WrestleMania poster.
Do you play Pokemon Go?
I did, yeah. I played a lot of Gen 1, played a bit of Gen 2. I've kind of
Did?
drifted off of it. Been playing a lot of Let's Go Pikachu on Switch, which has been fun. Yeah, it's
What about the mobile game? Because mobile's the thing these days.
yeah, yeah. I got a phone. I got it.
Oh my goodness! I admit that I do play the crap out of Pokemon Go with my wife. Like she's she's hardcore. She's not the kind that'll have like 10 phones with her to be like, oh my god, let's do a raid together. She's not a multi-box or anything like that, but she's big on that. How's your lady, by the way? How's she doing?
Yeah, still good, still around, still not living with me, so I get to play all the WoW in the world until the weekend.
I'm gonna call you out now. Any future plans with the lady?
Nothing yet. Having too much fun.
That's a really good answer. I was hoping to corner with you and embarrass you for a little bit on that, but man, you have a really good snaky way out of it. Clever. I'm just kidding. I don't mean to put you on the spot like that.
We're thinking about. Well, we was trying to save up to move out. We were looking at moving into the US for a bit, but we'll see.
Depends on what areas were you thinking about?
Probably Orlando. Funnily enough.
Really,
Yeah.
Florida. That's an interesting spot.
Yeah.
Usually, Florida is the place where Americans. Yes, it is where people die, and it's where a lot of unless you want to do drugs too, that's that it's a good spot if you're into the drugs. But hey, whatever floats you.
Sweet, love it.
So as we kind of talked about, WoW has been on a negative stint. Part of it is because there are issues, there are things that people don't like about the game, and also because of, at least from my observations, it's been the popular thing to do. People just love raging and hating on stuff almost irrationally. So
All the time.
yeah, so if things keep going this route, or if things get even worse, because I know you have, we'll talk about what some of your future plans are, but if things keep going south, do you have a plan? Like, what sort of like panic thing do you have?
McDonald's?
McDonald's.
No,
is
I don't
alright.
know. Yeah, that's it. I'm just gonna work at McDonald's. But no, I did play. I played Elder Scrolls Online on stream recently, and it actually had like a decent reception. There was a ton of people like wanting to watch it and stuff. So it kind of showed that there is, a market for me playing other games and kind of breaking into other communities and stuff. So I mean, right now I'm probably in the minority where I'm still having a fairly decent time playing WoW. Admittedly, I don't do a lot of BFA content. I just do a lot of old stuff. I've been doing like Legion Mythic raids, which has been a ton of fun. With like, there's so many people out there that want to do Legion Mythic raids. It's like the weirdest thing. But yeah, it's like doing stuff like that's been really fun on WoW. Just mount hunting and stuff. But yeah, I mean, for now I'm having a good time. But it depends. I mean, with Classic, as we said, hopefully that brings back a lot of players to WoW, and it brings back WoW into the spotlight. I think the panic button for them would be to move to a different platform, to maybe go to like consoles, as well as PC.
You're talking about WoW
Blizzard,
going
yeah,
to
I think Blizzard,
consoles?
if they wanted to do that, I feel there's definitely a market for it.
There was
Could be their panic button.
there was a discussion that I had. I just wanted to get your quick thought on it. It just kind of came to my head. But what do you think that part of the hesitation these days is in part of players wanting to get into the World of Warcraft or any of these big games is the cost of the cost of these boxes. I mean, $60 here. I don't know how much it is over there. It ain't no small bit of money
Well,
to get into it.
they changed it though, didn't they? So now when you pay for a sub, you get all the way up to Legion, and then you buy the one game.
It's still kind of a bitch to have to throw down that because a big critique about I think it was with Legion and I think with Warlords too is that the price went up. Like it was $40 and it started to go up to like $50 or $60 or whatever it is right now. I don't remember. I just use WoW tokens for everything. But yeah, but I have a feeling. I'm part of me predicts. Yeah, it's a prediction of mine. I think it's a very, very low chance of it happening. But I think that this year, if assuming that they're going to make an announcement for a new WoW expansion, at the end of it, they're going to say that going forward, WoW expansions, you're still going to pay for a subscription, but the boxes, the expansions are going to be free. It's going forward. You think that's going to happen?
Be nice, but probably not. They sold what 3 million BFA boxes in the pre-orders, or something more than that.
It's a shitload of money.
They would lose all of that. And I think because of the nature of WoW and how addictive it is, they could make it $100 and people will buy it.
They could. At the same time, though,
as nice as it seems, it would be freaking great. I would love that, but sadly, maybe not.
Because I really wouldn't mind if they did take that out. I think that would open up the doors for a lot of people who are on the fence about throwing down that much money for what might suck. But at the same time, maybe try to make up for it in other ways. It's like, hey, let's throw up more store mounts or something like that. Because the people that hate store mounts, they're gonna hate it no matter what. If they do one. If they change things up and hey, let's only do one store mount per expansion, like that's it, people are gonna still take a shit all over Blizzard, whether or not they do it. So part of me is thinking, well, you know what, just fucking go all out, just dump a whole bunch of them, and if people don't want to buy it, cool, that's fine. But that's like a whole crap ton of money.
I mean, it's funny with like Elder Scrolls Online. It's a game where you buy it once and then you just pay for expansions. There's no sub fee. I mean, there is an optional sub fee which gives you a few extra bits.
Yeah.
But I'm not even joking. You go into that game. I don't know if you played it. The first thing that gets you is just this freaking microtransaction straight in your face. Just like buy this mount. Like, and no one ever complains about it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like that kind of stuff. It's always such a turnoff whenever it's so in your face, and it's something that I still appreciate about the World of Warcraft is that it's not like you open up your adventure guide on the first day of a new patch. It's like, hey, here's this mount that you can buy. Like that's something that I would really have a problem with by putting it up front in your face. It's like, don't try to make me buy shit. I don't, I don't want to. I have WoW tokens for it. Come on, leave me alone. So we talked about like things going bad, if things went bad with WoW, but what if things are, what if we dare to be positive about it? What if we dare to think that, yes, Classic WoW is going to come in and things are going to be fucking awesome? Where would you want to go from there? If you start blowing up and you become, like 5 Asmon golds big, because I'm going to use them as a unit of measurement. 5 Asmon golds or 3.5 Taliesin and Nevitals. I think that's about an equivalent measure. What would you want to do? How would you want to branch out, if at all?
I mean, I would probably still do like WoW content. Like, I really enjoy making WoW content, and I feel so confident doing it because I have, some knowledge about it. I would probably go the Belial route. I really would. I would probably make another channel and do like news and stuff like that. Which is what he's been doing, and I'm sure he's been having a hell of a lot of time, like a good time doing it, because you can just tell his passion for the games industry and stuff like that is really there. But I don't know. I honestly have no idea. Like, it depends on so many things. But it'd be crazy. Like, I couldn't even fathom being like that popular. where you just make so much money and you're just so popular and everyone knows your name and stuff like that. That's just mad. Like I bet that does crazy things to a person. Um, but yeah, I don't know.
I think I don't want to sound like it's ass kissing, but I'll just ass kiss. But no, you seem to be positioning yourself, or you're positioning yourself to get at that level. It's just a matter of continuing to do it, and then maybe whatever taking risks here and there, like Huruma Red X, like he has different varying channels apart from WoW and some of the like the top 10 kind of content that he does. He does get into, well, I think like Yu-Gi-Oh,
Yu-Gi-Oh, yeah,
and some other
pet
stuff.
battles.
Yeah, yeah, he discovered his own niche, and if it's just him and Hazelnut Games that are doing pet battles, then so be it. And if they have that cornered and they have a full stranglehold on that, then hey, all the better. But
When that pet battle mobile app comes out, they're gonna blow up.
oh
You
yeah,
watch.
yeah, that's it. It's gonna be them. They're not gonna even have to bother with like any of that stuff, because they're just gonna you're gonna see Hazelnutty walking around with a full helmet on with a GoPro, looking at her. She's like, "Okay, we're gonna go find ourselves some Brutosaurus now." Be like, "All right, cool, go girl, go." And it's
Yeah.
it's a crazy potential for Blizzard and the World of Warcraft these days. I mean, in both directions. It could be like awesome. It could be like a bunch of like dog shit.
Yeah.
That
It
that we could,
definitely makes me a bit worried though, sometimes. I kind of think about it and go, shit, like what if it does go real bad? Next expansion they just completely balls it up and they do something silly, like go back to Draenor or something. Um I don't think they're that stupid though. I think hopefully, from the thing is with BFA, 8.2 is the first time they really get to make changes that were from feedback in the launch. Because I believe, you got to imagine that from launch they already had plans for 8.1, 8.1.5. They can add small things like vendors and stuff like that, but massive changes like the Azeroth system, stuff like that, they couldn't really bring in until 8.2. I don't know if that was always the plan. It probably wasn't, and I feel like they're constantly on the back foot at this point, which sucks because originally they were the pioneers, and now they're just like they're like, okay, the community complained about this, let's change this. It's too little, too late. I think with a lot of things, which is a shame. But I'm hoping 8.2, like a lot of I see it everywhere. Like everyone's like, oh, 8.2 is going to save WoW. 8.2 is going to be really good, and I really, really hope so.
I don't know. It's funny because of the nature of my channel, but I'm a bit more cynical about 8.2. Not that it's gonna suck, but I guess the verbiage that people are using, that it's going to save WoW, or that it's going to totally be a turnaround that's going to make like, oh my gosh, I wish BFA was like this instead. I don't think it's going to be the big revolution that we think it's going to be. I think there are certain components that are going to be in place, such as like Nazjatar and kind of the sandboxy intents that they have. I think that those are things that they already had in the works. But when it comes to, hey, let's redo the entire Azeroth thing, that one I'm not sure about. I'm much more skeptical of
Mm-hmm.
what they're going to
Yeah.
do to replace the whole powering up Azerite trades and all that stuff. It feels like they're just going to do something that feels like basically a shitty artifact system, like in
That's
Legion.
what it sounds like. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly what it sounds like.
it's going to be like, okay, well, let's give something else for people to pump their AP into, which doesn't resolve the criticism about, I don't like artifact power. I'm tired of
Mm-hmm.
artifact power. I'm tired of having endless progression blizz. And that this is not what we want. So I am a lot more hesitant on that. And then there was what little they talked about in God, I think it was Jeremy Fiesel with his interview with Taliesin and Nevitel, where they talked a little bit about 8.2 with bodyguards and other
Yes,
vague things.
that was a great interview. I love that.
Yeah, it was a great interview. The information that has me like, it's got me thinking, but I don't know how. I think I'm gonna eat up whatever Blizzard gives me. Because I'm that much of a suck up fan. But as for like everyone else, it's like I don't know how they're going to, how are they going to take it? Or just like what some people were saying in chat, is this just going to be something to hold them off for a little while until the real game when Classic comes out? Oh boy, is this all just to hold them off? I don't know, but
Hmm.
I'm not going to hold my breath on 8.2. I don't think it's going to save anyone or get people necessarily to come back. I think people are just going to keep observing until it just kind of passes by and like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to play classic. And
Yeah,
like that's it.
they'll probably be releasing like very similar times. Chances are.
When do you think classic is going to, didn't they say something about
Um,
summer
yeah, they
or
said summer 2019. Could be any month really. I'm hoping July, but it'll probably be towards the end, maybe August, maybe even September, pushing it. It depends really on when the alpha beta comes out, how done that is, how much testing they want to do on it, and what needs to be done. I think obviously since the layoffs and stuff, we've had a kind of dry spell because we did have Yittersons, who was a community manager, kind of heading the classic WoW stuff. He would be like the guy who would make it his personal vendetta to get some information out there for us because he knows the classic community are kind of like begging for something. It says we say summer, but we've seen nothing. It's kind of like knowing a film's coming out but not seeing the trailer at all for months and months and months. It's very strange.
and it's even worse because this is a remix. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a redo. It's like, what else are we looking to expect here? But I think, to be honest, I think that's part of why they're not bothering too much with news because it's like the only thing to really wait for is it done? Because the
Hmm.
expectation, at least, is it should feel like XYZ. It should feel like 112 with with this kind of setup or these kinds of things opening up. The only things that are kind of up in the air is things like the release schedule. I know that the release schedule is a really, really big concern. I guess we're pretty much talking about Classic WoW now. So I guess the release schedule is a really big concern
Hmm.
from some people. Like, oh, what's your take on that? Like, do you have any expectations on how you would like it to be versus what we're probably going to see?
It's obviously they come out with four content patches. Some with like Diamol. I think Diamol on launch is a very interesting one. It's something to do with the items in Diamol are like super overpowered in some of the dungeons and stuff. The scaling would be kind of off. Um, I think I'm probably not knowledgeable to kind of dive into what I would personally want. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if they just went with the original patch cycle, just simulated. Just start at whatever point and then just kind of build up from that, as and when the content actually released back in the game back in the day, because that would make the most sense because that's exactly how it was designed. I think people like classic guys were saying about 6 content patches they would like and things like that. Honestly, the wording in the BlizzCon thing did say their current thinking, so it is subject to change, and they were very open with like the way, like in most interviews, they were like, oh yeah, no, just keep making videos. We'll keep watching your content. We'll keep, letting us know what you want, and we'll look into it. They seemed so up for community feedback, which was just incredible because you don't really get that with the retail game that much. You get a lot of shit shows on the forum, but they never really do much about it.
I think the difference there is because when it comes to current modern retail, well, it's a matter of okay, we can get this thing out. Let's go ahead and get it out because players have been waiting for something like this. With classic though, people already know what they're going to be expecting, and from there it's just a matter of yeah, it is another matter of waiting. But to me, classic WoW defines the old statement of time gating content because they can
Mhm.
get things out the way that they want to in the order at which they feel like because they already have everything in place. It's just a matter of is it done yet? Can we get this thing out
Yeah.
or not? So I'll be really curious to observe just how this release schedule goes out. Do the like is Blizzard going to put content down and then have a bunch of content that they can sit on and then just kind of wait and see okay, we see that a certain percentage of players have progressed through molten core. I think now is a good time to just boop hit the button and release the next thing
Hmm.
without having anything in mind except for yeah, let's just go with what the players are doing as opposed to hey, it's done. let's get this thing out. I'll be really curious to see how to see how that goes.
Yeah, it's like Loctite saying in the chat. He said he'd rather wait and have it done right instead of releasing an inaccurate representation. They have one chance to do it, essentially. They can't just go, okay, that was bad. We'll start again. Don't worry. We'll do it all over again. They're very ambitious in the way they're doing it by getting the 7.35 client, turning it into classic. It's super. There's some super back end stuff that could really go wrong, as opposed to just bringing out the original 112 client, which was back in vanilla. So it will be interesting to see how it is. I mean, the demo played pretty great. I don't know if you got a chance to play it at all. There was a ton of stuff that wasn't really in there, but you can tell they're really getting to grips with everything in that environment that they've created. The simulated vanilla, I suppose.
Yeah, but for the time that I did play it, because I was on it for a little bit. I got a couple levels on my warlock, and I stopped because I mostly stopped because I was like, wait, I can't make a good enchanting wand. Screw this, because I was so dependent on that back in the day. Once I was able to figure it out and be like, oh wow, enchanting wands are like ridiculously overpowered in vanilla, I can get to level 30 with just like this level 5 wand. Okay, cool. But it wasn't there. So I was like, wow, this experience sucks. This is trash. Refund, please. I can't stand it. But I am looking forward to watching. I'll probably at least dabble in it a little bit, so that way I can be like, oh well, shoot, I gotta get footage of the classic world, the classic pre-cataclysm world. This is a gold mine. I can't pass up that sort of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll be really curious to see how that plays out. But what about the future though? Like because I want to predict that classic will be massively successful. I'm super optimistic for it. That ultimately it's going to be good for Blizzard. People will be very happy about it. Smiles all around, tons of views on Twitch, etc., etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see a future though? Do you see a BC?
TBC?
Yeah.
Wrath? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
How do you
There'll
how do you
be
see it going though? How do you
they would
see the
have.
framework?
I think with running it in the 7.35 client, it's like they've basically set themselves up to be able to put in Burning Crusade content, Wrath content, etc. Not Cataclysm. They'll probably stop at Wrath, because they'll have that framework where they can just kind of load in the stuff. So that's probably, honestly, probably their thinking. I wouldn't be surprised if that was one of the reasons why they went with that Legion client and just converted everything down. Like a small time version of something, the way they've done it is the South Shore versus Tara Mill Brawl, where they've imported the actual map from vanilla and downported it into Legion, or whatever it was when it came out, BFA, let's say. Yeah, so that's essentially what they've done. So now they've got this kind of pot of vanilla where they could just go, okay, we're going to bring out TBC, and they could just throw in the files and away it goes. Obviously, you'd have to insert the new systems and the changes and stuff like that. But yeah, I would love to see it go to TBC. I love TBC.
Do you see it being a parallel kind of server that's going to be put out? Do you see them? Okay, people will have their classic WoW, but hey, here's the BC server. Boom, let's launch this. Or do you see classic? Do you see them being like, okay, here's classic WoW, but now we're going to add TBC on top of that?
I would have, in an ideal world, would be separate servers, because there's people that would want to stay in vanilla and keep on playing vanilla. And the problem is, if they change that classic server to a TBC server, people are going to go back to undocumented servers and go play elsewhere. So, in an ideal world, yeah, they would want either fresh TBC servers or TBC servers where you can copy your classic character.
Yeah, I think that's the most popular idea, most popular framework that I've been seeing is that, okay, once they launch a TBC thing, just as you're saying, you can port your character over. You'll still have your classic character over on that server, but now you have this level 60 character that you can take into Outland or whatnot, or of course, you can just make a brand new character on that server as well. So that's, I guess, in an ideal world, that would be nice to see something like that. I'm a little bit, I guess the big skepticism that I'm seeing about Classic is one of the big pluses of it, and that's the community. The idea of having a very closed community and having to use trade chat to have to find groups. But do you feel like we're going to wrap it pretty soon. Just
That's right.
as an FYI, do you feel that the community is prepared to handle that kind of World of Warcraft?
I think it's going to be a bit of a culture shock. I think people are going to be kind of like, "Oh, wow, okay." Um, yeah, I think it'd be interesting. I think one of the main points they made at BlizzCon was add-ons, because people are better at making add-ons now, and you could take parts of different elements of the new game and put them in there. You could People have created on private servers. People have created a dungeon finder through an add-on. Now that's
Wow, that's
yeah,
amazing.
that's something.
I've
Yeah,
I've not heard of
people.
that.
Yeah, I mean, people are obviously still developing add-ons for vanilla, but yeah, one of their main points of contention at BlizzCon was they are unsure what they want to do with add-ons, because you could really go ham and add the quest helper and stuff like that straight into the game, and obviously it's there for people to use. Most people will probably end up using it anyway. So do they not allow any add-ons at all, or do they super restrict them? And if they do restrict them, what sort of restrictions do they want to put? Because there was add-ons in vanilla. You can't,
Right,
you
right, right.
can't not allow add. They're just a lot more advanced now, and I think using that Legion framework as well gives it more like freedom to just take stuff from Legion and put it straight into the game. Especially things like the quest helper, because the quest helper is probably going to be one of, if they do bring out a quest helper, if someone makes a quest helper for classic, it'll be the biggest add-on you could get, because people are going to want it. They're going to be like, oh hell yeah, I want to know where to get the Murloc eyes in Westfall. Like, I mean, I selfishly would probably use it.
Yeah,
But
I don't see why not. I mean, given that, I mean, back in the day, quests were such a pain in the ass to not exactly complete, because you at least got like a general sense of, okay, I gotta go here, and even though there's not an obvious beacon that will point me in the right direction, I can at least read the quest text for a quick second and be like, okay, they're telling me to go north, they're telling me to go west, they're telling me to go
it's
to
a rough
that
idea.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they at least give you an idea of where to go. But yeah, I can definitely see people taking advantage of like this so-called industry of WoW, with looking at Wowhead or downloading an add-on to
Yeah. Times have
otherwise.
changed.
Yeah, and that's my biggest concern, is that the dependence on add-ons is what, in my opinion, has kind of compromised the sense of community, where it's like, oh, okay, hey, person in trade chat, where do I go from here? And before, we would help each other out because there weren't any other reliable resources except for a couple of posts on Alakazam or Thoughtbot or Wowhead or whatnot. And like, that was it. Alakazam. I was a Thoughtbot person. Fuck
Yeah.
Alakazam. I have a gang mentality on that. I don't like
I
Alakazam
use
users.
both.
You use both. Oh, that's like playing both Horde and Alliance. But
I know, I'm terrible.
but that's me taking it. But I guess the last concern that I have about it is, with regards to the community, is chat programs like Discord. Before, I recall, the World of Warcraft was very limited in its ability to bring lots of people together through like voice chats and what have you. And people relied on things like the LFG chats or trade chat to get groups together.
Hmm.
What I'm really afraid of, and you could probably help out with this better than my own predictions, but I feel like people will rely on Discord channels to just make people will just make a realm Discord. It's like, hey, here's the Storm Reaver server, here's the
Yeah, yeah.
Storm Reaver Discord channel, and from there you can use that to conveniently find groups, get people together, which is great.
Hmm.
It's great for getting people together and get parties together. But I feel like that compromises the whole spirit of interacting with
Yep.
people in game
Oh yeah.
and all that. So I get so the question is, like, from your observations in private servers and how the internet itself has advanced over the years, do you see the internet further compromising the sense of community in classic WoW?
Yeah. There's not a lot you can do about it. There is not a lot. You cannot stop that. Funnily enough, I think I might be wrong here. I'm sure chat and various other people can fact check me on. Cross faction collusion was TOS in vanilla.
I don't remember that being a thing.
Talking to Horden Alliance, or like talking outside of the game, discussing win trading or something like that.
Stuff like that. I think it was more specific to win trading and using chat, the cross faction sort of chat to harass each other.
Yeah,
These days they don't seem to give much of a shit. You just report spam and like that's it.
you can just add them you can add them as a BattleNet friend.
Yeah, or you can have them battle on their friend and talk shit over there. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I think they've loosened that, but I don't recall that really being a thing apart from very specific,
Yeah, yeah.
win trading and all that stuff. So I don't think that's.
I mean, it'll be a lot easier in Classic though. I think definitely. As you were saying, you make a Discord server for the whole server. There's going to be Horde. There's going to be Alliance in there. It could even be like, boys, we're going to Winter Grasp tonight. Not Winter Grasp, Winter Spring tonight. I want to see you over there. We're going to do a big old battle, Shamans versus Paladins, or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. I think things like that are fucking awesome. I think that'd be sweet to get tons of people together to duke it out. But again, I'm also a little concerned about when it comes to getting groups together. It's going to make grouping much easier, absolutely, but it's going to. I feel I'm concerned that it's going to cause some of the issues that we're seeing now with like the group finder. That it feels so easy to get people together that it's also easy to be like, you know what, this person, they're not doing good deeps. Get out, go back to the Discord channel and try again. So that's one of the things that has me both excited and a little concerned about seeing the 2004 World of Warcraft in like 2019, 2020, whenever the fuck it comes out.
It's something you can't help, unfortunately. Hopefully, I hope people kind of keep in the spirit of things and be like, you know what, I'm not going to bother with Discords. I'm just going to go standard Stormwind, standard on Ironforge more so, and just kind of working with stuff like that. I think, yeah, what I always loved about Classic was like having, you'd have like the enchanter of the server. He's like the dude to go to if you want to get your enchants and things like that. Sort of stuff is awesome, and I can't wait for things like that because everything is cross realm now. You don't know anyone, you don't know anyone's name, you don't remember anyone standing on the bridge in Ironforge wearing their rank 14 gear or anything like that. It's like so that's going to be super exciting again. I think it'll be interesting to see how Classic like goes with Reddit and Discord and things like that, and YouTube especially. Like back in the day, we had YouTube for montages with Linkin Park in PvP, and random WoW songs, which sadly we don't see enough of them anymore. I think we need more WoW songs. But
Watch the right one.
yeah, yeah. I was going to do a cover of that to World of Warcraft that you play. Then I remembered I couldn't sing, so that was it. I was like, damn it, that's the end of that.
Yeah, I went as far as like doing a chorus and like that's about it. That's about it. That's about it. So anyway, we're gonna wrap things up. But before that, I just want to give you a chance because whatever we had talked about today, I'm gonna put on YouTube and all that stuff. Here's your chance to just plug and talk about you and get people to watch you. Go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm mainly on YouTube as we were talking about most of the time. Upload a couple times a week, doing new content, looking at stuff that people probably aren't covering as much. Like yesterday, I did a weird video about BOA vendor in Island Expedition or something. Yeah, I spend a lot of my time on the PTRs and stuff, doing boss testing on stream. We do that. Like yesterday, we were doing a stream where we were basically trying to take down the first boss of the Crucible of Storms because it was open for testing. It was an absolute disaster. We didn't even we got to 75% and it was not happening. But that was due to the scaling of the PTR. That's their fault. It's their problem. But yeah, basically, yeah. So check me out on YouTube, MrGM, Twitch, MrGM, Twitter, MrGMYT. And that's pretty much it. That's where I'm at the moment. I'm not on other sites yet, but you never know.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how things go in the next couple of years as we see, hopefully, the continued successful growth of the World of Warcraft and its advancements with Classic. And I hope to see you there helping lead the charge with getting people hyped up about content. So this was Mr. Grand master. I'm gonna keep that going until
Sweet.
someone comes up with a better suggestion. Thanks again. Thanks again for showing up, man. I appreciate it.
That's all right. It's all right. It's been fun.
I'll see you
We'll do
around.
it again. We'll do it again. Give
Yeah.
it some time.
Yeah. Cheers, man. We'll see you.
Take it easy.